Welcome to the Page by Page Book Club. I'm your host, Paige Imprint, and I bring you weekly book club meetings wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back, y'all. I cannot believe that we are doing another monthly wrap-up. I know I say that every month, but it's wild to me. It flies by, and boy, do I have a wrap-up for you. I was on vacation, and I averaged a book a day while I was there, so we have a lot to unpack together here. But first, life updates. A lot going on at the moment. So, where to begin? I guess the biggest news that I am most excited to share with you all is that I am no longer going to be a 9-to-5 girly. It's true. The rumors are true. I am officially going down to part-time at my corporate job to continue doing my author work in social media. What? Oh my gosh, this is the most unreal, exciting, life-altering thing ever. And I could not be more grateful to you all for providing me a platform, because a platform is a privilege, and giving me the opportunity to speak about books and make these connections and all of the things. And then to the authors I work with for giving me the opportunity to work with you all. Each and every one of you is an absolute delight and a dream come true. And because of both you all and my authors and just my family and my husband, I'm getting to do my dream job. And it's just crazy. So I'm adjusting my hours at my work temporarily before I move away from the corporate world entirely here in the next few months, which is just unreal. So that has been the big life changes that I've been alluding to over the course of the last few podcasts. They're finally here, and I couldn't be more excited. So I'm looking forward to providing you all more content, better content from a way less stressed place mentally and emotionally, which is going to be great. I'm excited to have more availability and open up kind of my wait list to authors. Like, that's super exciting as well. So a lot of really great things coming our way. Oh my gosh, yay. So that's that. I did take vacation 2 weeks ago now, and it was a dream. I got all the relaxation I needed. I know we talked about it last episode, but because we're kind of doing a recap, it was so fun to just read. Like, my 80-hour work weeks, I am not counting reading in that, though reading is part of my job, you know? I don't count my time spent reading towards those 80 hours. And it was just like so fun to have unlimited time for a week to just read. It was a dream. Really, really grateful for that. So, and without further ado, shall we get into the books I read? Before we get started, I do want to say, maybe 2 episodes ago, I shared with you all that Paige is an alias. It's my middle name. And if you want to hear more about why I chose to have an alias and all those things, go back to the content creator tips and tricks, bookish content creator tips and tricks episode. But I do want to say that one of the books I read this month, the FMC had my government first name. Sorry. And I listened to it on audio, and it was a wild experience. I don't know why, but listening to a book on audio where the MMC keeps saying my name, I don't know. It was a really weird, odd reading experience. In fact, there's one book out right now that I am dying to read. I've heard nothing but incredible things. However, there's a double whammy. She has my government name. And so I'm like, that's okay. That's probably something I could get over. However, additionally, her nickname, the nickname he has for her, is centric around her name. And it's what my dad calls me. It's a nickname my dad calls me. And I fear I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Because it's it would be I think it would be a little weird. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of been a funny thing going on in my world lately. Okay, let's move on. Let's get into what I've read so far this month. I'm actually recording a bit early just with the way the timing of the month has fallen. So with that being said, I'm also going to kind of be making assumptions about what I'm going to read for the rest of the month, because there's still a few days left. So, okay. Last episode, I was 50% through Shield of Sparrows, and I did finish it. I've talked about it on multiple episodes at this point, so I'm going to just leave it at I loved it. It was incredible. I think it's my favorite book of all time. Yeah, it's unreal. It's a romantasy. It's very much so the first in a series where there's a lot of, like, when I say world building, I just mean like setting the groundwork and laying the foundation for the rest of the series. But I loved it. I loved every moment of it, and I have no notes. Okay, great. I'm going to move on from that because I know I could talk about it forever and ever. Next, I immersive read Stolen Dreams by Natasha Madison. And this is the fourth book in the Dream series. And I would say the Dream series is probably the most angsty romance series I have read. Like, with true contemporary enemies to lovers. All 4 books in the series are so high angst, and books 1 and 3 are such true, deep, pure contemporary enemies to lovers. Like, there's no two ways about it. Those people hate each other in the beginning, and it's like, that's hard to come by these days. So really have been enjoying this series. This was the 4th installment. It was a she falls first, he falls harder, unexpected single dad workplace romance. It was angsty, it was suspenseful, like, to the point, like, y'all know this, I'm a huge suspense fan. Like, I love suspense. Like, this suspense had my heart racing. Like, I was driving down the road, like, listening to part of it, gripping my steering wheel, like, on a hope and a prayer, because it was intense, but it was good. So, if you're looking for high angst, I highly recommend the Dream series by Natasha Madison. The first book is called Shattered Dreams. So it's Shattered Dreams, Forbidden Dreams, Buried Dreams, Stolen Dreams. That's the series. And high angst, small town romance from Natasha Madison. The audios are great, by the way. And then I went straight into Protect by Paisley Hope, and I did this one immersive as well. I've been on an immersive kick lately because, as we've established multiple times, I do not have an internal monologue. I do not, like, hear my own voice in my head when I'm reading. I also have aphantasia, so I can't see anything. Anyway, so when I'm reading, sometimes my mind will tend to wander because, yes, I'm still thinking, even though I'm not hearing my own voice in my head. And so sometimes my mind will wander because, like, I'm not hearing my own voice saying the words in the head. I'm also not watching a movie play out. So when I'm immersive, where I can, like, listen and eyeball at the same time, it just kind of keeps me locked in. Okay. Protect. Second chance. Hotshot firefighter. Single mom. Swoon. Oh my God. I really liked it. I really liked it. And so they dated in high school, and he was like the super popular rugby player in their town, and she was his best friend's sister, and they ended up being paired together on a school project and ended up falling for each other. Mainly, like, he fell for her and pursued her pretty heavily, and then ultimately ended up having to break things off due to, like, a circumstance. Like, something happened, but he never told her what that was. And so she's very much so resented him for a very long time due to him doing that. And so she moves back to town after divorcing her husband and is trying to start fresh and runs into him. And he's like, this is my second chance. This is my opportunity. And he goes hard. And mind you, she lost her brother, who was a hotshot firefighter. He passed in the line of duty. And so there's a lot of trauma for her surrounding that career path. And she is a burn unit nurse, kind of to honor his memory. And he gets brought into the burn unit after being burned in the line of duty. And that's how their friendship kind of rekindles. And so it's fairly angsty, and I just think it's beautifully done. Again, the audio was phenomenal. It's a duet performance, which, you know, I love duet, and I also love dual narration, especially when the narrators have really strong, like, male and female voices and vice versa. I'm fine with either. I'm just happy to be listening. But the duet performance here was really great, and I thought it was perfectly spicy, fun, angsty, second chance. You know, I love a second chance. And there's dual timeline elements of this, so you're kind of going back in time and seeing that as well. So that was that. And now we are into full-blown vacation reads territory. I read 7 books, like a book a day while I was there. The very last day I took the day off from reading, and that was really refreshing as well. But I was really happy to get into reading again. Just like before I started making content, and really into before I started TikTok in August of last year, I was averaging about half a book a day. Like, I'd get home and I'd read. I wouldn't watch TV, like wouldn't really scroll. It was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna read my books. And so now I get home from work and I make my content and I work with my authors and all the things. And yes, that's a huge blessing and incredible. So I don't want to undermine that at all or act as if I'm not happy with what I'm doing, but I am not reading nearly as much as I used to. My vlogs are like, day of my life as a book talker that reads 200 books a year. It's more likely going to be around 150. Last year I read 200, so we're kind of going off of that number. And who's to say that now that I'm going to be doing this as my full-time job, crazy. Oh my God, crazy that I won't be reading more. But yeah, so reading's fun. Turns out I really like it when I get the chance to do it. So first I read Line of Scrimmage by Erin McKenzie. It's the first book in her Out of Bounds series. Guys, this one was so fun. It was teammate sister, friends with benefits, super like secret, doesn't want the brother to find out. I just loved their dynamic. They were so playful, so fun, and they both felt so hard for each other. And I loved reading each of their point of views because of the friends with benefits element to them. You were watching both of them fall hard and also be curious, like, does the other person even feel that way? But there was never like any behavior or questioning that either of them cared deeply for the other. And I loved this because he was like, we are not just friends. Like, in no world are we just friends. And I really, really liked that. So this was my first book by Erin McKenzie. I thought it was great. I had such a fun time. I had such a fun time, in fact, that I dove straight into The End Zone, which is the second book in that series, immediately. I knew from the jump that this one was going to be so up my alley because it's best friends to lovers. And sue me, I eat up as friends to lovers every time. I think the biggest criticism that I have come across for this trope is that people feel as though one person has loved the other for longer and therefore there's kind of like a power imbalance in the relationship. There's only one book that I can think of that kind of has that, but all the other childhood friends to lovers or best friends to lovers romances that I have read have been very much so mutual pining. And I think that was the case in The End Zone. I think they were both pushing down their feelings for so long, but I think they both were realizing their feelings at the same time. Like they were like, something has changed. A la Wicked. You know? It was a slow burn. Football player. And man, they just love and care for each other and get each other. He is struggling with like performance anxiety essentially as a football player, where they just won the Super Bowl and he is putting like immense amount of pressure on himself to outdo himself and live up to the standard and make his team proud and all those things. And it gets to a point of being debilitating. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was beautiful. It is slow burn, but when they get together, yeah. Y'all won't know this because there are cuts, but the amount of interruptions in this episode is absolutely wild. Now, also, it is the middle of the night. Like, I don't know what's happening right now. Like, it's not like I'm recording midday. Okay, we're going to keep moving through my vacation reads. After I read those two Erin McKenzie books, I did not continue on Erin McKenzie's backlist because I'm waiting for the audio to come out of the playbook, which I think is her third book in that series. And I immersive read both of those. And so I was like, ooh, okay, I want to wait to do the audio because I really, really love the audio experience on that. So that's what happened there. Now we're switching to eyeball reads for the rest of the week. I dove into Tilly H. Colson's backlist. Oh my God. Romantic suspense perfection. Like, it was so good. And I mentioned this in my video recap of reading this series. It was the Silver Spring series. What Tilly does that's so interesting with her romantic suspense is like, it is so real in the sense that sometimes in a romantic suspense book, something will happen and then like, usually it's in the third act and it's like, okay, they get saved from being taken. And I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here. I don't want to get banned of any sort. They get taken. And then they come back and they're just fine? Probably not. I would guess not. And so what I liked about Tilly's was that the characters like moved through the consequences of those suspenseful things. Like, I don't know. Her writing is beautiful. Her characters are great, and I just love them. She writes in third person, but it is still dual POV. It's just in third person. So for the most part, it's chapter by chapter from a POV perspective, or just like at a scene break, it'll change character perspective. But it's not like third person and there's like a narrator. Like it's third person dual POV. You know what I'm saying? So really love that. Silver Linings is the first book in that series, and it is about our FMC and her best friend's brother who has returned home after all these years, and she's loved him forever, but she's engaged to this like absolutely horrific dude from a horrific family and is pregnant, and she's about to have this baby, and he has turned aggressive towards her, and our MMC is like very, very, very protective of her and ends up getting her out of a really horrible situation with her then fiance. They break up. She leaves him, but has the baby, and they enter into this marriage of convenience and put him on the birth certificate as the father. And it's not his baby, but like that's his baby. Like that's his baby, that's his wife. It does not matter to him. He steps up, he takes them back to Texas where he works. Like it's just beautiful. I really, really loved it. The suspense plot in this was fascinating, unexpected, really, really good. So loved that. And then I went straight into Silver Secrets by Tilly. Again, phenomenal. Romantic suspense. All the guys in these books are former Navy SEALs turned like security specialists, and they own this security company. It actually ties into her last series. So just read Tilly Colson is kind of what I'm saying. But Silver Secrets is about the MMC who works at the security place and the FMC who's a psychiatrist next door to the security place. And they've kind of formed an unlikely friendship because they're both volunteering at the animal shelter together. And he knows that like something's up with her, but doesn't know what. And through their friendship, he obviously uncovers what has happened to her. And he's also a widower, so they're kind of like grieving and going through it together. They're just kind of both broken people and meet each other where they're at, and it's really beautiful. The suspense plot follows a serial eliminator of people, if you will, and it is like my heart was racing. My heart was racing. My heart was racing. My heart was racing. Like, ugh, it was just really well done. And again, just so real with her reaction and to the consequences. Like, the consequences of that suspense plot and how it impacted her. I just thought it was really beautiful and real. So love those from Tilly, and I'm so excited for the next book. As always with any book, especially suspense, just keep in mind to just double check the content warnings and make sure everything is good to go there, because there are some heavy topics. Really, I mean, if there are content warnings, I would check them. I know some people perceive them as spoilers. I used to not for that reason. However, twice recently I've read something that like really had me taken aback, and it could have been avoided if I would have read the content warnings. So I don't know. Speaking from personal experience. Also, while I was on vacation, I wrapped up my beta read of Coach Me by Molly Goins. I'm not going to say too much on that, but I will say, holy grumpy sunshine, holy single dad nanny. I'm obsessed with this book. I'm obsessed with it. Molly has outdone herself. All I want to do is talk about it, but more to come for sure. I'm going to do a reread around arc time, so fear not. We will be talking more on Coach Me. And then, okay, I skipped over this because I logged it later. Guys, next week, I'm having Victoria Wilder on the podcast. Yeah, it's happening. Like, as in the Victoria Wilder, as in Victoria Wilder. I am over the moon, so excited. And we recorded this a few weeks ago, and she gave me the incredible opportunity to read Bourbon and Proof before I interviewed her, and I'm blushing so hard already. Like, guys, oh my God. Ace and Hadley, it's everything you thought it was going to be and more. And man, I just loved both of their characters. I really did. Hadley in particular, you knew that there was so much more to her. Yeah, she's the fiery best friend. She's funny. She's quirky. She's strong. Like, yes to all of that. But there's so much more to her. She's probably the softest of all of the FMCs in the series. Just like her heart, I would say. It was It was amazing. And then Ace, on the other hand, really he blew me away as well. Like, I'm having a really, really hard time picking favorites in this series. I would absolutely say that Bourbon and Proof is Victoria's spiciest book to date, followed very closely behind with Peak Performance from the Riggs Family series. And there is a bit of crossover there, and it's just so fun. So I don't want to speak too much on this because it hasn't released yet, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but I will just say Bourbon and Proof was phenomenal. I'm going to be talking all about it next week on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. I'm really, really, really excited to share that episode with you. Victoria is a delight. So more to come there, but reading that was just such an incredible opportunity. Then I read Sawyer by Jessica Peterson. It did come out last month, and y'all, the past month has just been really, really, really overwhelming because as my author work has been picking up, I've just been, losing hours in the day essentially. And so I'm having less and less time to read, but it's all for the better and all on purpose to get to this point now where I get to do this as my full-time job. Like, I know I'm remaining very calm, but every time I think about it too hard, like I am right now, like I get on the verge of tears. Like, this is my dream job. I love this job so much. I love getting to work with authors. I love getting to create content for you all. And the fact that it's going to get to be my job is just unreal. So all of that hard work came down to this, and it's all been worth it. So yes. And now I get to read more again. So it's beautiful. So anyway, that's why I hadn't read Sawyer yet. I really, really hated to miss it on release month, but we got caught up, and yeah, Jessica did that. I just loved Sawyer's character so much, and I loved Wyatt. Y'all know I just love Lucky River Ranch. Love Cash. Loved Wyatt as a character, and I really, really loved Sawyer's character in particular. Ava was also great, but I don't know. It was single dad, single mom, cowboy. They had a one-night stand, and then come to find out they live in the same city, and it was really, really fun when they reconnected after that. It's quite spicy. This one's quite spicy, I would say. But it's also very real. I loved the way that the conflict played out and the pacing of it, because they're both coming from a place where they kind of want different futures, or do they? Like, what they each expected for their futures on paper looks very different, but when you boil down to the heart of it, it's the same. And I really, really liked the exploration of that on Jessica's part. I also loved that they were both single parents to daughters who were around the same age. Like, it was really fun. It was different. It was something unlike what I have really ever read, and I loved the uniqueness of that. So Sawyer was just another great one. Then I read Replay by L.A. Shaw. This is another second chance romance, and this one was so high angst. Like, it was wild. It was a college romance. He was a football player. They did it in high school. He broke up with her unexpectedly due to like some heavy angsty drama, and she didn't understand the full of it. She just thought he left, and it's like, yeah, dude. Like, it is so intense. It was so good. I was on the edge of my seat. It was really, really unique. Like, the feel of the book was unique. There was dual timeline elements. He wrote her letters. Like, he'd been writing her letters since he broke up with her. And when he was trying to win her back over, was like giving her old letters that he wrote. Yeah, it was intense, and it was good. Like, I loved that. So he fought hard to win her back, but like neither of them really stopped loving each other. It was awesome. So that was great. Then I read Taming You by Alex Taylor, which was so fun. It was kind of a surprise baby situation, but like not from her. Like, a baby was left on his doorstep, a la think like Caught Up by Liz Tomforty, and it's best friend's brother, and so she has kind of gotten close to him through the process of getting her best friend to date his best friend. You see? So they've kind of gotten close while they were trying to push them together. And so their friendship kind of continues to evolve in this book. And then she helps him with this newborn son that he has so unexpectedly because he was left on his doorstep. Also, like, she's very clearly throughout the book trying to date. Like, she's like, I want to find love. I want a long-term relationship. And he's a reformed playboy. And she's kind of looking for love and her friends are setting her up with people, and then they finally just end up like caving for each other. And when they do, it's really, really beautiful. Third act conflict, really well done. It is not a third act breakup, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I really loved it. Alex, cheers to you, girl. I'm so excited to go back and read this series too, because I got to see all the couples as well. Like, obviously all the couples that are from the series, because I jumped in on book 4, and that's on me, but I was so excited about the tropes. But I'm also so excited to go back and kind of fill in the blanks on all these other characters and couples. I think it's going to be great. So really great stuff from Alex. And then I read In a Rush by Kate Canterbury, and per my last email, and by email I mean my social media post on this book, the yearning in this book was unreal. I have never read yearning like this. Never. He was so down bad for her. He breathed for her. His sole existence was reliant on her. Like, it was crazy. He's a pro NFL player. She's a teacher. And they were friends in high school, and they had this like marriage pact where if... Sarah Bailey and Molly Goins are both texting me, interrupting the podcast. Thanks a lot, ladies. What's going on? Anyway, they had this marriage pact when they were in high school where if neither of them was married by 30, they were going to get married. And so he has been counting down the moments to this. And like, he's the top quarterback in the NFL, and like literally still his sole existence is reliant on her. Like, he's so in love with her, and she's always had feelings for him too, mind you. Like, this is not one-sided, but like he really, really, really is yearning for her. You do not understand the depth of his yearning until you get to the third act where it's all revealed and you're like, oh my God. I don't want to spoil it. It is a microtrope, but I don't want to spoil it. Like, but when you find out like the extreme measures in which this man takes in loving her, it's unreal. He spends his money on her, and I just love that. It's everything you could want from the pro athlete millionaire trope, because he is not afraid to spend his money on her, and I just love that. Like, you have millions of dollars? Spend it on her. Like, spend it on her. I will give you a heads up. Out of everything I read this month, I would say this was the spiciest. No, actually, lie. Bourbon and Proof, In a Rush, and Sawyer were probably the spiciest. So, if you are a spice lover, there's that. If you are a spice avoider, there's that. But In a Rush was like very, very, very spicy. In a Rush is the second book after In a Jam, by the way. And you all know how I feel about In a Jam. I'm not going to rehash this with you. I will spare you. But I was so excited to read this because obviously I love In a Jam. It's like my ultimate comfort read. And so this was everything I loved about In a Jam. Just again. It was great. So if you read this book, please, please, please DM me or text me or whatever, because I'm dying to talk about it with someone, and I haven't found anyone that's read it yet, but I'm dying to unpack this with someone. So this is my formal plea. Please, please reach out to me if you have read this or if you read it upon my recommendation. Thank you. Okay, this leads us to where we are today. I'm recording this on the 25th, so I still have 6 days left of the month, but I've been given no choice. So I'm probably going to be a little aggressive, and, we'll see. We'll talk. So right now I'm reading Hidden Nature by Nora Roberts. She's a long one, okay? She's a long one. I'm immersive reading it. It's really, really good so far. It does lean fiction. It leans more fiction, and there are elements of romance. It is classic romance writing, though. Like, it really is. It's really great. I'm loving the story. It's 450 pages, so it is on the lengthier side. But yeah, it's really good. I have really enjoyed it so far. I'm almost done with that. And thank you to St. Martin's Press for the opportunity to read that one. I have the advanced listener copy of Releasington by Chloe Walsh. I've listened to like 2 chapters. I'm so afraid, y'all. I'm so afraid for this book. I know my social platforms are 100% positive. I don't really feel that this is controversial, and we'll see how I'll talk to you all about it like next month, but I'm not a big Lizzie fan at the moment. Her behavior is extremely unfortunate throughout this series, and this is her book, and I am hopeful that she gets her redemption moment. That is my hope for her. It's also Hugh's story, And what makes me a little nervous about that is that, as far as we know at the moment, he's in a relationship, and I'm hopeful that the cheating trope is not involved, but you never know. And I do want to preface, like, I'm going into this book knowing all of these things. And so when I am in the process of experiencing this book, I will not be holding Chloe Walsh at fault by any means for writing about the things that I already knew was going to happen, which could be potential cheating trope or love triangle or Lizzie being a kind of difficult character. Lizzie, to me, this is probably a leap because I am not far enough into this book to make a comment on it, but she's giving me Nesta energy, where throughout the whole series she has kind of been just a little bit sharp, and now we are getting the opportunity to understand her in a way that we haven't before, and actually I am very much so looking forward to that. Any chance I get to experience a character that is different from me is a blessing and an opportunity for me to grow in empathy as a person, and so I am very excited to read her story, and I am hopeful that I will gain an understanding and perspective that I didn't have before. So, because people are complex, characters are complex. I'm not looking to love every character I read, frankly. Like, it would be lovely if I did, but that's just not the reality. And I don't love everyone I meet, right? Like, and on the flip side of that, not everyone I meet is going to love me. And that, I have to be okay with that. Is it hard? Yes. But that's just the way of the world. I would hate for us to be all so similar and the same that we didn't have diversity, and just like, it would be so boring. And so it's a blessing. So I'm looking forward to this story. I am afraid, but it is my current audio. Releasing Sin by Chloe Walsh. Next up on my to read is going to be Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. I'm very excited for this story. I'm not in a major rush necessarily to read it. I'm very excited about it, but I don't feel like a sense of FOMO really. I'm just like, I'm very sad that this world is going to come to an end, but I'm also so excited to read Rio's story, so I think that that's going to be great. I'm also going to be reading Spurred On by Elle Jordan, a bull rider romance, and that's going to be super fun, I think. You know I love a bull rider. You know I love a cowboy. You know I love a southern gentleman. So I'm excited to dive into that one. And I have a feeling that I'm going to have capacity for one more book this month, maybe. And I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. I do have maybe an arc or two hitting. Maybe I have significantly stepped back from arc reading. I am only arc reading for a select few authors that I'm on their teams or what have you. So I'm no longer just like signing up for arcs at the moment. Just with my like capacity, it was adding significant stress with the amount of time I had. So I stepped back from that. Well, I'm about to start an alpha read, so that'll be probably my next read. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know that I'm at liberty to disclose what that is, but I am starting an alpha read here shortly. Maybe 2? I don't know. So I'm going to leave some availability open for that. To be honest with you all, because nobody's going to be surprised. Like, nobody's going to be surprised. I did not prepare for this episode. God bless me. June anticipated releases are going to be Spurred On, Bourbon and Proof, A Royal Mile by Samantha Young. I think those are the only 3 that I have on my radar. Wild. So it's going to be another TBR backlist month, which is so great because I have just been dying to go back and read some of my favorites backlists. So I know I'm going to be reading the rest of Tilly's backlist because she just had me so hooked this month. Like, y'all, read Tilly H. Colson, I'm telling you. You're going to be hooked. And then, I know I'm going to be doing an audio reread of Heathen and Honeysuckle, Sarah A. Bailey. I think I'll be reading a bit for the authors I get to work with, which is incredible. So I'm really excited for that as well. It's going to be a great month. In June, my life is going to change, like, in every way. And it's because of you all, and it's because of the authors who have given me an opportunity to work with them. I could not be more grateful. Like, I do not take this for granted. And this opportunity it's unbelievable. Like, yeah, I'm not going to cry on the podcast. I can do this. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna cut myself off probably. Yeah, this episode might be a bit shorter. I'm thinking it probably will be a little bit shorter. I'm hopeful that the next 2 episodes are actually going to be pre-recorded episodes with guests. You know that next week is Victoria Wilder. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. Fine. If you made it this far, I'll tell you. And then the week after that, I have Sarah A. Bailey on the podcast. Yeah. The back-to-back bangerness of that. Like, do you understand how wild that is? Victoria Wilder, Sarah A. Bailey, 2 weeks in a row. Unreal. So those are going to be my very first guest podcast episodes, and I just can't wait to get them out to you all. And then we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. I think we'll have one more episode, and then we'll be back to our monthly recap, which is wild. So if there's a particular episode you would like for me to make, shoot me a DM, text me, call me, beep me, because I prefer making episodes that you all want to watch. So just let me know. I really adore each of you. I wouldn't be where I am without you. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you as always for spending your time with me. I will see you in the next one.